Cashews. Source of magnesium. I should probably stop chewing first. I thought we could have a little coffee and chat. Got my Ravenclaw mug today. This is honestly still too hot for me to drink. Also, I really thought I was going to spill it on myself, so glad that didn't happen. So, I posted my first video, Get Ready With Me. Getting ready with it was terrible. I mean, the video was fine, but the getting ready part was terrible. I don't want to say it wasn't supposed to be funny, but half of the jokes were just me messing up. Sometimes I just have to take a breather and collect my thoughts. I have a lot of them. I start talking really fast sometimes as well. The video that I posted, I sent it to my parents and I made them talk to me on the phone while they watched it, or I was on the phone. We did a video call while they watched it. But listening to the audio without watching the video, I sound manic, and part of it is the way that I edited it. I think that's kind of just me. That's how I am. There's a lot going on. I can't finish sentences. We're just gonna embrace it. I don't know why I'm saying we, because it's just me here. Well, I guess I hope you embrace it too. I need more cashews. This is actually the second video that I'm filming today, so I just went and changed clothes. But my makeup is the same, because I'm not going to go through that much trouble. Now I'm telling you that it's the same day anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm filming this as a kind of life update. As some of you may know, probably all of you, because anybody who's watching this is someone who knows me. I'm not gonna, become YouTube famous overnight. I'm sorry, I'm just really hungry. I have a blog. I like to write. I consider myself somewhat of a blogger. However, I've been really slacking at it. I've always been quite sporadic with my posts. I'll just go months without posting anything. I'll write stuff, but get anxious about it or just not know how to finish it. I've always wanted to make YouTube videos. It really started back with the Miley and Mandy show, which I did try to watch the other day, and it turns out it is not that good 10 years later. When I was 16, or however old I was, I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I liked the idea of sitting around with my friends. In fact, when I was in high school, I did make a music video. It was something. I've always wanted to make YouTube videos, but I've always been afraid to. And I think this is something that people relate to, so I'm going to talk about it. Because I've had people say this to me. That's how I know people relate to it. It's weird to get on camera. I've got a tripod set up in my living room. My neighbors can probably see me. They're probably not looking at me, but what was I saying? Making YouTube videos. It's weird to get a camera out, start talking to it, but I've actually been really enjoying it. I spent a really long time editing that last video. It was probably embarrassing. Also, I had to start over when the project collapsed. I keep sitting down and trying to write, and it's just not happening. So I thought, well, just go with it. Sometimes it's easier to just talk. I can edit it later. You would think that would be the same as writing. I just find it easier to talk because when I write, I try to edit myself too much before I even put it down. Also, I'm really working on completing my sentences. You may have noticed I paused a few times because I wanted to start a new sentence, but I said, no, finish the sentence you have before you move on to another one. So I think one of the reasons that video seems cool is that you can get a bit more personality in it. I mean, I don't want to say I'm a funny person, but I like a bit of humor. I like to be a bit self-deprecating, not because I hate myself. Well, depends on the day. Be dramatic. I think I just want to be the center of attention. I always have been. You can watch videos of me when I was a kid. Anytime Tyler was on the screen, I would just be jumping in front of him like, look at me. I've been wanting to do a little life update blog post, but instead, I'm going to put it in this video. What if I just did a series of like coffee with Kayla? It's like almost alliteration. Is that still alliteration if it's CMK? I don't know. Maybe I could do some videos where we have a coffee and chat and some videos where I have a wine and chat. You might be wondering, Kayla, what's going on in your life recently? Well, I'm here to tell you. Joe and I spent a lot of last year traveling. It was really cool, real cool. Cool feels like a weak word to describe last year. It was amazing. It's hard sometimes to talk about traveling. I don't want people to be like, oh, classic Kayla going on about our travels. You know how people always have oh, they're always talking about when they went to Barcelona. Sometimes you just have to talk about Barcelona, okay? I had some weird shit happen in Barcelona, so sue me. We went to Australia and visited Joe's family. We went to Belgium with my friend Sophia. Brussels, specifically. I had the best double cheeseburger of my life. It's weird that that's like the one thing that stands out. I went to Brussels and I'm like, McDonald's was so good. We went to Ireland, stopped in Dublin to stay with my friend Rebecca. Miss you. Rebecca's in Australia right now and I'm like happy for her, but also I miss her. We were there for St. Patrick's Day. It was much more successful than my first St. Patrick's Day in Dublin, which did include me throwing up in the street. I did have a really good dance to Come On Eileen though, but then my friends left me. Maybe I should do another video for just my craziest travel stories. Let me know. Do you want to hear about me being sick in different cities, peeing my pants, getting lost, crying? I have a lot of those stories, so if you want to hear them, let me know. Ireland, it was good. Joe drove. We went to Galway, Cliffs of Moher. We went to a town called Dingle, which is a weird name, but it was beautiful. We went to Morocco, which was incredible. We got to see Marrakesh, Essaouira. There were some other cities, but honestly, I can't think of the names right now. We went to the Sahara Desert. Sometimes I still have moments where I'm like, I went to the Sahara Desert. Being from Oklahoma, you just don't know that your life is gonna go where it does. So did I expect that I was gonna get to camp in the Sahara Desert? No, but it was freaking amazing. It was a difficult country. There are some difficulties with going somewhere that's so culturally different, but it's good to get outside of your comfort zone. We also went to Spain and Portugal. We went to Madrid, Seville. Seville was one of my favorite cities that we went to. We also went to Porto and Lisbon in Portugal. Both amazing. Lisbon was not a good time for me though. I was on my period. Never good while you're traveling. And also, to be quite honest, I was dealing with depression a lot. But it was beautiful. And we went to an all-you-can-eat sushi buffet that was so good. We also did a Norwegian cruise. That was amazing. I went to Paris with Rachel. There are a lot of beautiful people in Paris, like, and Paris itself is just the most stunning city ever. We also went to the US, did a few stops, New York, Washington DC, OKC, represent, and we went to Toronto, which was pretty cool, but the weather was a bit shit. It happens. That's a quick recap of last year. So it was really good. Traveling was amazing. Mental health wise, not my best year. It's important to talk about the fact that sometimes things can be really amazing and you can still feel really terrible. I had some of my lowest points last year. I don't know the appropriate level of seriousness to use here because I don't want it to be too heavy, but I don't want to take it lightly. I also don't want to get emotional and cry on camera. Shit can get heavy, but I think it needs to be talked about. So, because I have anxiety, it can be hard for me to constantly be in different scenarios, getting outside of my comfort zone. It's good to do those things, and I'm glad that I did. I think maybe it was a bit too much outside of my comfort zone sometimes. I felt very isolated because we would be traveling. I was traveling with Joe, obviously. That was great, you know, love Joe. Weren't really seeing friends very often. We were around Joe's family whenever we were home, but when you feel isolated, it becomes harder to reach out and talk to people. Things are better now. It's cool, but it's also not cool. You know what I mean, right? Please. We decided we wanted to come back to London. I really love this city. I feel like I belong in this city. I'd had a couple of years in it before we traveled. I think I was still kind of adjusting to it a bit then, especially the first year, I would say. And we were just missing being in London, missing a bit of normalcy. There was a little bit of this embarrassment almost of, oh, we said we're gonna, you know, go traveling. But actually, like, it doesn't matter. We did what we wanted to do last year, and then at the end of the year, we decided now we want to do something different. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to commit to something. I mean, don't just blow off like important commitments to people. If the circumstances of your life aren't making you happy anymore, don't stay with them just because you wanted it at one point. You're allowed to change your mind. I obviously still want to be able to travel, but I also like having a house and being in London. So anyway, we got a flat in London. We didn't buy a flat, God. I don't think we'll be able to buy anything until we're like 40. We're living with Joe's sister Ellen. Love her. The sister I always wanted. My face doesn't look happy right now. We're really happy with the area we live in. Joe's doing really well at his job. It's been so good to see him succeed in this role, and I'm really, really proud of him. It's been really good to see our friends more regularly. I'm too social to be just off traveling. If you're quite introverted, then it probably could work for you, but I am not, obviously. My visa. I get nervous about like, should I talk about visa stuff? It is ultimately a legal thing. I'm not gonna get into the nitty-gritty of it. Basically, I am here legally. It's complicated to explain. I have an extension on my current one, which means that I can stay here for now until some stuff is sorted out. I am still allowed to work, but I no longer have a residence permit that proves my right to work. So first of all, jobs searching in London is a nightmare. It's really competitive, and when you've just taken a bit of time off for traveling, I was already struggling to get a job, had some interviews. There's just always somebody more qualified for you in like any role. So I was struggling to get a job for several months, and then the visa didn't work out. Now I can't really get a job, which is why I have so much time for you all. I have been doing some freelance stuff for Joe's company, which is good. Been trying to get back on that content game because what's the point of life if you're not turning it into content? Trying to really take advantage of this time and not just sit around watching Netflix, which has been going really well recently, and I will tell you why. It sounds like I have some big like reveal coming up, and all it is antidepressants. I've also been volunteering at an Oxfam bookshop. If I'm just home all the time and there's not much socially going on, I can get a bit angsty. I don't know. Antsy? Angsty? I don't think I'm angsty. Well, it's antsy. As I was saying, I've been volunteering. The people there are cool. It's nice to be working with books because I like books. Although I'm really bad at reading them. I just start books and don't finish them. That probably sums up what's going on in my life. I'm trying to get into gardening, but like indoor. I don't have a garden. I'm really loving my plants. Got some succulents. This doesn't really feel worth talking about in a video, to be honest. I mean, who doesn't like plants, really? Gonna leave it there. Coffee with Kayla. This coffee is, I've got one last drink and it's cold now. If you have any questions, let me know. I don't know what questions you would have. I would love to know what kind of videos you want to see. I have a lot of like friends and family who are in another country from me. Living in London is obviously quite different from Oklahoma City. So if there's anything that you're like, hey, I would love to know what this is like, or I would love to see this. I don't know. I don't have any examples, but just let me know. Comment, send me a message, whatever. Comments are good though because engagement, that's the word I'm looking for. I don't really want to be that person that at the end of every video is like, please subscribe to my channel, but you should subscribe to my channel. That'd be cool. Also follow me on Instagram if you aren't already. I really want to hit 1,000 followers. That's just all I want. This has been a good chat. Thank you for joining me. You really had a lot of great things to say today, so I've got a lot to think about. This lighting is just so nice. Bye.